Otto, Prince of Bismarck, Count of Bismarck-Schönhausen, Duke of Lauenburg, German, Otto I von Bismarck, Graf von Bismarck-Schönhausen, Herzog zu Lauenburg, pronounced, to F in Bismarck. Listen, April 1, 1815, July 30, 1898, born Otto Edward Leopold von Bismarck, was a conservative German statesman and diplomat. From his base in the upper class of Junker landowners, Bismarck rose rapidly in Prussian politics. He masterminded the unification of Germany in 1871 and served as its first chancellor until 1890, in which capacity he dominated European affairs for 2 decades. He had served as the Chancellor of the North German Confederation from 1867 to 1871, and alongside the office of Chancellor of Germany, he was Prussia's Minister-President and the Minister of Foreign Affairs from 1862 to 1890. Before his rise to the executive power, Bismarck was the Prussian ambassador to Russia in France and served in both houses of the Prussian parliament. He cooperated with King Wilhelm I of Prussia to unify the various German states, a partnership that would last for the rest of Wilhelm's life. King Wilhelm granted Chancellor Bismarck the titles of Count of Bismarck-Schönhausen in 1865 and Prince of Bismarck in 1871. Bismarck provoked 3 short, decisive wars against Denmark, Austria, and France. Following the victory against Austria, he abolished the supranational German Confederation and instead formed the North German Confederation as the first German national state, aligning the smaller North German states behind Prussia, and excluding Austria. Receiving the support of the independent South German states in the Confederation's defeat of France, he formed the German Empire, which also excluded Austria, and united Germany. Bismarck in 1890 Chancellor of the German Empire in office March 21, 1871, March 20, 1890 Monarch Wilhelm I Friedrich III Wilhelm II Deputy Otto Graf zu Stolberg Wernigerode Karl Heinrich von Bedecker preceded by position established succeeded by Leo von Caprivi Federal Chancellor of the North German Confederation in office July 1, 1867, March 21, 1871 President Wilhelm I preceded by position established succeeded by himself, as Chancellor of the German Empire. In office November 9, 1873, March 20, 1890 Monarch Wilhelm I Friedrich III Wilhelm II preceded by Albrecht von Brunn succeeded by Leo von Caprivi in office September 23, 1862, January 1, 1873 Monarch Wilhelm I preceded by Adolf zu Hohenlohe-Ingelfingen succeeded by Albrecht von Brunn Minister of Foreign Affairs in office November 23, 1862, March 20, 1890 Prime Minister himself Albrecht von Brunn preceded by Albrecht von Bernstorff succeeded by Leo von Caprivi. With Prussian dominance accomplished by 1871, Bismarck skillfully used balance of power diplomacy to maintain Germany's position in a peaceful Europe. To historian Erich Hobsbawm, Bismarck remained undisputed world champion at the game of multilateral diplomatic chess for almost 20 years after 1871, and devoted himself exclusively, and successfully, to maintaining peace between the powers. 1. However, his annexation of Alsace-Lorraine gave new fuel to French revanchism and Germanophobia. 2. Bismarck's diplomacy of realpolitik and powerful rule at home gained him the nickname the Iron Chancellor. German unification and its rapid economic growth was the foundation to his foreign policy. He disliked colonialism but reluctantly built an overseas empire when it was demanded by both elite and mass opinion. Juggling a very complex interlocking series of conferences, negotiations and alliances, he used his diplomatic skills to maintain Germany's position. A master of complex politics at home, Bismarck created the first welfare state in the modern world, with the goal of gaining working-class support that might otherwise go to his socialist opponents. 3. In the 1870s, he allied himself with the low-tariff, anti-Catholic liberals and fought the Catholic Church in what was called the Kulturkampf, culture struggle. He lost that battle as the Catholics responded by forming the powerful German Center Party and using universal male suffrage to gain a block of seats. Bismarck then reversed himself, ended the Kulturkampf, broke with the liberals, imposed protective tariffs, and formed a political alliance with the Center Party to fight the socialists. A devout Lutheran, he was loyal to his ruler, Kaiser Wilhelm I, who argued with Bismarck but in the end supported him against the advice of his wife Empress Augusta and his heir Crown Prince Frederick William. While Germany's parliament was elected by universal male suffrage, it did not have much control of government policy. Bismarck distrusted democracy and ruled through a strong, well-trained bureaucracy with power in the hands of a traditional Junker elite that consisted of the landed nobility in eastern Prussia. In his role as Chancellor, he largely controlled domestic and foreign affairs. The year 1888 saw a quick transition on the German throne from Wilhelm I to his son Frederick III to Frederick's son Wilhelm II. The headstrong Kaiser Wilhelm II dismissed Bismarck from office. He retired to write his memoirs. Bismarck was strong-willed, outspoken and overbearing, but he could also be polite, charming and witty. Occasionally he displayed a violent temper, which he sometimes feigned to get the results he wanted, and he kept his power by melodramatically threatening resignation time and again, which cowed Wilhelm I. He possessed not only a long-term national and international vision but also the short-term ability to juggle complex developments. Bismarck became a hero to German nationalists. They built many monuments honoring the founder of the new Reich. Many historians praise him as a visionary who was instrumental in uniting Germany and, once that had been accomplished, kept the peace in Europe through adroit diplomacy. Historian Robert K. Massey has noted Bismarck's popular image was as gruff and militaristic, while in reality Bismarck's tool was aggressive, ruthless diplomacy. In 1847, Bismarck, aged 32, was chosen as a representative to the newly created Prussian legislature, the Vereinigter Landtag. There, he gained a reputation as a royalist and reactionary politician with a gift for stinging rhetoric. He openly advocated the idea that the monarch had a divine right to rule. His selection was arranged by the Gerlach brothers, fellow pietist Lutherans whose ultra-conservative faction was known as the Kreuzeitung after their newspaper, the Neue Preußische Zeitung, which was so nicknamed because it featured an iron cross on its cover. 1314,